is kind of a blue-green color. We're gonna be using a little bit of that. I have a wee bit of Pacific blue. We're gonna be using some of that. It's one of my favorite colors. I have some clear. We're gonna be using a little bit of that. But and we also have some bubbles, all right? Here's the piece de resistance. A while back, I had this ceramic bowl. It's one of those bowls where you smash things in, like I can't ever remember what it's called. But I broke that bowl, and so when it broke into all these fun pieces. So I've been saving them, and I wanted to kind of show you a little bit of what ended up coming out of that. I don't know why that word won't come into my hand. And so it's kind of started breaking in these triangles, and I was like, those are perfect sailboats, right? They are stinking perfect little sailboats. And then I started nipping like little bits that could be the boat, right? So we have a sail and we have a boat. And so today I'm gonna show you how to create a cute little sailboat picture with very little painting, okay? We're gonna make a little bit of an ocean, no sand, thank you, Maureen, mortar and pestle. That's right, you smush all that stuff together. But I broke mine. So anyway, we're gonna make a little sailboat piece, and I wanted to show you too, my little collection. I don't know if you can see this whole bowl, this whole little bucket, but when I break a vase or whatever, I always keep the colors, I keep them in color. Like this is all blue glass, this is all white glass, but this is my sailboat bin. And I have all these are all, my little baggies are all sailboat parts. This is a bigger one. So there's a sail, and then the boat is in there as well. Let me show you that. But I keep a little collection. There's the bottom, so you could do, let me show you on my art piece, because you'll be able to see better. You could do this whole, look, this whole little thing could be your sailboat. Super, super fun. Love it. So I kind of keep those separated, so when I want to make a sailboat, I can just go right into my sailboat bin and find what I need. And I keep all my colors separate as well. So, anywho, let's move on. So we're gonna pick a sailboat or two out of this little stash when it's time. But first, we're just gonna do a teeny bit of painting. Very minimal. So let me grab my plates and a brush. So all we're gonna use are 3 paint colors, okay? We're gonna use a white, whoops, where'd that go? We're gonna use a white and 2 blues. We're gonna keep it super minimalistic. Dodie. Mazed fish is a 12 by 12. All right, so we are going to we're gonna use these 3 colors, give ourselves a very abstract, basic, oceany background, and then we're gonna add a sailboat and some glass, just to show you that when you first start out, if you don't feel comfortable doing something like super detailed, you can still create art. You can still do it. And tomorrow we're gonna go live, and I'm gonna challenge you all. I love to challenge you with a little abstract. So I'm gonna challenge you all tomorrow to do a little abstract with me. And there's going to be a prize. There's gonna be a prize. All right, so this was the Bahama Blue. I think we used that last week on our palm tree. This color is called Stormy. This is called Stormy. It's just a nice watery blue. So we'll use a little bit of that. And then we're gonna use some white, whatever white you have. Doesn't matter, white. Let me get a little bit of that, all right? So, I am gonna try to paint upside down, y'all. So bear with me if I have to think about it a little more. All right, so this is going to be like the water, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of a sky up here at the top. So I'm gonna start at the top, and I'm just gonna go in and add about a third. Let me see if I can mark it. About a third of my canvas I want to be my sky, and then the rest we're going to blend in the colors to, Kathy, we're gonna blend in the colors to just make a fun watery background. All right, so let's just get this white on, and then we're gonna just add a little bit of that lighter blue for a little bit of a sky effect. We'll come in and add a little cloud or two as well. Easy peasy clouds, not fancy pull your hair out clouds. This is meant to be a very simple, basic art project. All right, so let me straighten that line up a little. So that is going to be my sky. So I'm just gonna wipe off any excess white. Let me get this over here. A little excess off the brush so it's not completely saturated with white. Then I'm gonna go in to that Bahama blue, all right? And we're just gonna kinda see how I'm holding my brush almost sideways. I'm just gonna kinda bring in some of that blue to make a little sky, leaving some of the white showing, highs and lows in the blue for your sky, all right? We want it kind of the abstract. We don't wanna think about it too hard, okay? This is meant to be just like, get it on there, be done, right? All right, so I'm gonna wipe that off of my brush, and now we're gonna start into our water. All right, so I'm gonna start with, I know this is, you're gonna think I'm crazy, but I think I'm gonna start in with this darker blue, right near my sky. I did not add any white. Let's line it out as best as we can for an old lady with arthritis. So I'm gonna try to make a straight line, painting upside down. And I can't get enough on my brush, I think. Just have to hold my mouth right. Just that horizon between the sky and the water. All right, you really kind of want that to be as straight as possible. And you could literally use tape. Hey, Carol, you can literally use tape to mask that off if you're not very good at like a real nice straight line. So we're just gonna get some of this darker blue, the Stormy, on about the middle portion. Then I'm gonna kind of blend in some of the Bahama blue again. Then we're gonna throw some white in. And we're trying to keep this as simple as possible. All right, let's go in. I didn't even wipe it off. Gonna go into the Bahama. Just kind of start blending. You can start down a little, like a little further down here, and just start blending into that wet, stormy color. Because I don't know about y'all, but where I go to the beach, the water is never just one color. Right? It's always like a blend of blues and greens depending on where you are. Right? If you're at an icky beach, it might be brown. So I'm just gonna color that. Try not to think about it too much. Just get that Bahama blue on all the way down. Then we're gonna throw a little white into the mix. All right, so we got that. We blend left to right. Okay, if you stop in the middle, then you have that hard line. So you want to make sure you're blending all the way across, all right? Don't come into your sky. I'm gonna wipe off excess, so I still have a little dirty brush. I'm gonna get a little bit of that white. Let me scooch this over. A little bit of this white on my brush. I'm gonna kind of smush it in to the other colors that are still on my brush. And I'm gonna start down in the Bahama blue at the bottom. We need a little more. And we're just gonna go left to right and add in some of the whites into the Bahama blue. So nothing is a solid color. All right, you can see it's kind of got a little wave action, and nothing is a solid color. It all just kind of melds together. All right, so I'm gonna get a little more of the white. I'm gonna come up into my blue a little, and now I'm holding that brush kind of at a flat again. And that's gonna create some of that wave action. Oh, I got a little too heavy-handed there, but just swoop across, give yourself a little bit of a wave breaking, a little bit of wave breaking, and you can come through. Again, you can fix it. This is all still wet, so if you have a boo-boo, you can fix any of that. All right, that's it. That's it. Actually, I'm gonna rinse. Let's get some, that's my first rinse. I'm gonna rinse that. I'm gonna get a little teeny tiny bit of white, just clean white, and I'm gonna come up here and just kind of scrub in. Look, I'm just taking the little white on my brush, come down and just kind of scrub in. A very abstract, organic little bit of white for a little cloud. Look at that. Okay, so are we still here? Are we doing it? Oh, and I was so tired this morning, I didn't know if I was gonna be able to function today. So this is our background, all right? Simple, easy. It was like 10 minutes, 10 whole minutes. You got 10 minutes to do something nice for yourself. All right, I'm gonna get this dry, and then we're gonna go straight to our making it gibblety, fancying it up. Yeah, white caps, little waves. We're gonna get her dry. Don't forget your sides too. I'm not gonna paint mine right now, but I'll probably paint them later. When you're using a dark foreground or the top surface of your canvas is a little dark, you really kind of either want to keep that edge nice and clean white or kind of extend your painting over the edge. Get it? Right? Just like that. Easy peasy, a lemon squeezy. Now, we're gonna use some of the glass I brought, but we're gonna figure out what we're gonna use for our sailboat. I'm gonna move this paint over so I can get my laptop back up here because I cannot see comments on my iPad or the phone, only on my laptop, so that's sort of annoying me. All right, so what we're gonna do next is figure out, I love this sailboat, and I wanna show it to you. Look how curved it is, all right? So it's gonna really stand off the canvas. Let me show you. Can you see how much that's gonna stand off the canvas? It's really, really dimensional. Okay, so I'm digging that, but I also kind of like this one. I'm wondering if we can do 2 sailboats. What do you think? Sue walked away and came back to an ocean. You know, I'm gonna make an ocean. All right, let's see. So I'm thinking about maybe 2 sailboats. I kind of like this one as well. It's kind of looks like it's coming in at an angle. So let me turn it around for a second because, you know, maybe we'll put this one up here off in the distance and then this one like here-ish. Let's find the boat pieces and see if we can make that happen. So I have this whole little bag of boats. That's okay, Becky. I want to make sure you can see that. Keep bringing it closer to me. So I have all these sails, and now these are like some boaties. So, and I just use however it breaks, that's how I use it, okay? So for here, we need something smaller. Here, this could be a good boat. And you could even just use a different color for the boat. I'm just gonna use these. because that's what I have. Double sail, one boat. Oh, maybe so. I'm gonna have to turn that around. Double sail, one boat. I don't know if I have, let me look at my other options to see if we have something worthy of a double sail. Those are too big. I have some great old big ones. Really wanted to use white because they stand out. But let me see. Trying to find something that would be acceptable. Let me see. Bye. See you later. All right, so yeah, this was just a little bowl that broke. And let me see if I can figure out, that might work. That might work, y'all. Look at that. What do you think? Let's turn it this way. What do you think about that? Is the boat too small? I don't have a much bigger boat. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. Otherwise, it's going to have to be smaller. Like maybe this with a boat. I kind of like the smaller one. Small or large? Kind of like the smaller one myself. So we're either going large and in charge, or we're doing small. Super cute. I like this one. Do y'all like this one? Let's see. Small. I agree. I agree. We're gonna go with the small one. This one's a little too big for the canvas, and we need a bigger boat. We need a bigger boat. All right, so I'm gonna turn it back around this way and kind of try to figure out where I wanna place it. So I think I'm gonna place it where it's a little in the sky and a little in the water, like right there. And we're gonna add some glass to the bottom, all right? I'm gonna start with the Pacific Blue. Okay, this is 1/4 inch Pacific Blue. A little more uneven. And I'm gonna just pour some of this into my hands. Oh, this is too big. This is 1/2 inch Pacific Blue. Let me grab a little small. There we go. This is 1/4 inch. So we're gonna add just a little of the Pacific Blue, and I'm gonna come right up around that boat with that Pacific Blue. Add that glass. Then I'm gonna add some Solex, because that's gonna kind of blend in to the greenish color. So this is Solex 1/4 inch. And I'm just gonna dump it in a line. Just like that. And last but not least, clear. Just the clear. Get the 1 ounce Ziploc bag you showed us. What are those talking about? The big blue one? Oh, that's too big for this. We can do one with that, but I think it's gonna have to be on a bigger canvas. I'll show it to you in a minute. I see debris. I'm trying to get it off my canvas. A little icky. So see, we have kind of an ombre effect with our glass. Once we put the resin on here, it's really gonna blend in together and kind of just coordinate and look so pretty. All right, so I think I wanna add a few more things. I'm gonna kind of mix these two up a little, so that some of the Solex is in the blue and some of the blue is in the Solex. So it's not a hard line of color. We'll grab a little pinch of the Pacific Blue and just kind of blend it in to that Solex. Then I'm gonna add, I have this little bag of glass chips. Let me make sure I keep all my colors straight. Did Did I use? Oh, I did use all the clear. So I have a little bag of glass chips. I don't want to do any shells or anything because this is all ocean. It's not, there's not really a beach. But y'all know, two things I can't resist. One, thank you for the sprinkles, Brenda. One is glass chips. We also sell these in our store. Love adding those into something like this. So I'm gonna just grab a few little bits and just for a little extra oomph. So that one kind of blended with the Solex. And this little piece is gonna blend nicely with the Pacific Blue. And then, let me see what else we got in here. We'll just dump some of it out. Oh, this one, super pretty. It's got a little teeny bit of green and red in it. I'm gonna put that right beside there. So that's 1, 2, 3. Let's get 2 little baby pieces. Maybe, oh, this one, look how pretty that is. We'll put that down here at the bottom and one more, something right there. Just for a little extra something, something. Let's put these back in and I will go grab, I saw Catherine mention a bird. So let me go grab a little piece of white sheet glass and we'll add a bird. Show y'all how to make a cute little bird. We made one for the palm trees, so we might as well make one for this as well. So let me grab that little chunk of white I had left. If I can find it. Piece of white. Hang on a second, guys. I should have kept it on my desk. I didn't think about it. Oh. Alright, found a little piece of white. This is sheet glass, just like mosaic sheet glass. They actually sell sheet glass in my Hobby Lobby. They don't sell them in all the Hobby Lobbies, but they do sell them in mine. So I feel very lucky. So I'm just gonna nip a tiny, I'm gonna move this so I don't, if it, you know, something goes crazy, it's not gonna snip it into my piece. So what I can do is just take this little leftover bit of white glass and I'm gonna use my wheeled nippers and I'm just going to make a little bitty nip. I don't know if you can see how close I am to the edge. I'm gonna make a little bitty nip. That's a little big, but that's okay. I'm gonna make a couple of nips and then we'll make a bird out of one of them. That broke crazy. All right, so this little teeny tiny piece is enough to make an entire bird. All right, so what I'm gonna do is go right in the middle. Let me show you. So I'm gonna go right in the middle at a 45 and make 2 pieces out of this. All right, so take your nippers, go at a 45 right in the middle, squeeze. Well, hang on, arthritis. And let me dump that in the trash. Now I have 2 little bits that I can make a bird out of. All right, so over here, let me turn this so I can see it. I know it's better for y'all that way, but let me do this real quick. So you want him at a V, like this, okay? So it looks like he's flying off into. So now I have those 2 teeny little nips that look like a little bird. Let's make a second bird. And I'm going to, this one's a little big, so I'm gonna nip some of it off to be the correct size. And then I'm gonna do what I did last time. I'm gonna take that little piece, I'm gonna do a 45 right in the center. Let me see. I got big old fat fingers, it's hard to get them in there. Squeeze. Let me get rid of the excess. And you should wear gloves. Don't be crazy like me. You should probably wear gloves when you're doing that because you don't want to cut yourself. All right, so now I'm gonna lay them flat. I'm gonna put this one down here, add a V. So it looks like just two cute little birds flying off in the distance. Check it out. There's my birdies. Super easy. Easy peasy, a lemon squeezy. Again. And once we get our resin on, I'm probably gonna add a few bubbles in the water just because we love bubbles, right? So now we can do the resin. That's how easy this was. Literally 5 or 10 minutes of painting, nothing extravagant, nothing too difficult, and then just using your glass and all your fun little pieces and giblets to make an art piece. All right, so let's mix some resin. I'm trying to see. I think I'm gonna mix 2 ounces because I have a good bit of glass, all right? This is an 8 by 10 and it's got half the canvas has glass on it. So I'm gonna mix up 2 ounces. I'm gonna put 1 ounce in 1 cup, 1 ounce in the other, and then we'll pour it into our larger little mix cup. I don't like that one, hang on. I like you. This one, we're gonna use this one. All right, so I'm gonna get some gloves on. I wanna be on that boat too. Leona says she's a gloveless bad girl too. You know what, my hands are big and gangly and, with a little bit of arthritis. So putting gloves on to do that makes it harder. So it's like, I'll just take a chance on cutting myself, I guess. But you really shouldn't do that. You should play smarter. All right, so I'm gonna put some gloves on and we're gonna mix 2 ounces of resin. Let me mark my cup real quick. So on each of my cups, I'm gonna mark 1 ounce right there. There's 1 ounce on that cup. 1 ounce on this cup. And then, now we can pour. Thank you, Catherine. So just as a side note, anything that we do on this page is exclusive bonus to members of the Shattered Circle. So any supplies, any tracers that we use when we're doing artwork on this page are exclusive to members of the Shattered Circle. That's just one of our bonuses to them. And so that just adds more art to their repertoire as we move along, especially during these times and during the holidays when we do a lot more art than normal. So it just adds a big old Benny. It's just a big old benefit for our members. So that was our hardener. Now I'm gonna do 1 ounce of resin. I'm gonna have to let it get back down to the bottom. I don't know why I don't store it upside down. So let's do 1 ounce of resin in our cup. Come on. There we go. So now we have 1 ounce of hardener and 1 ounce of resin. And I'm just gonna take my other little cup. We're gonna pour both hardener and resin into 1 cup. Now we can't mix, this is a 2 ounce cup, so you can't do 1 ounce and 1 ounce in one of these because you need to have that space for mixing, okay? You need to have that mixing space. So, because you tend to, if you don't have that mixing space, you tend to not mix well, and then you end up with sticky art because you didn't mix it good enough. So make sure you're always leaving some space in your cup for mixing. All right, so this was either my hardener or my resin, I don't know. And this is the other. So we're gonna put them both in 1 cup. Then we're gonna stir for 3 minutes. Oops, almost poured it on the table. I do not use UV resin. I've never used it. I don't know why. I know a lot of people do, but I just don't. I love art resin. I trust it, and so I'll always use this product. I do know a lot of people who do use the UV though. All right, so we got an ounce of hardener and an ounce of resin. Ooh, my nose itches, hang on. And we're gonna stir this for 3 minutes. All right, so I'm gonna push this up a little so I don't splish splash. And I'm gonna stir, and I'm gonna just stir. For those of you who are new or haven't resined anything before, you don't wanna whip it. You wanna just stir nice and slow, gentle, scrape the sides of your cup with your mixing device, whatever you're using. Scrape across the bottom. Scrape off your stick too, because it might get loaded with one part or the other. So just continue to stir, and we're gonna do this for 3 solid minutes. Catherine is going to let me know when my 3 minutes are up. So if anybody has a question about what we're doing here, about the resin, about Art Shattered, about the Shattered Circle, we are gonna close. We only open the doors to the Shattered Circle twice a year, once in April and once in October. So we really, if you're on the fence, would love to answer any question you might have, because your next opportunity is probably gonna be October, all right? So we, inside the Shattered Circle, we do 2 full-on tutorials, step-by-step video tutorials every month with PDFs, tracers, supply lists, all the links to products for the projects, etc. All right, so that is one of the things you get when you're a member. We also do monthly minis, which is just a little baby art piece on a 4x4 canvas. And those are fast becoming my favorite little thing to do. We also have a Q&A every month. Now, I say we have a Q&A every month, but in all reality, every day is Q&A day, because anytime you have a question, it's gonna get answered, okay? Inside our private Facebook group, anytime you need a little encouragement or you need some advice or you have a question about anything, that gets answered on the daily. We have a couple of different challenges and prizes throughout the month as well. We have a monthly completion. Yay, Sue! We have a monthly completion challenge, and the prizes are all the glass bits for the next workshop. We also have a member appreciation, which comes with prizes. But the piece de resistance to me is our Facebook community. We have a Facebook community just for the members of the Shattered Circle, and they are full of encouragement. They're so helpful, and they're so loving and encouraging and kind. And it is just the most wonderful group, and we are all about community over competition. Thank you, Catherine. I see ya. So we don't compete with each other. We love each other. We help each other. We encourage each other. And last but not least, when you're a member of the Shattered Circle, you get discounts on supplies. All the glass bits that we sell on Art Shattered's website, you get a discount on glass. You're gonna get a discount on resin, because I know that sometimes it's like, resin's not cheap, and I get that. So you get discounts on resin, discounts on glass. We are actually having, this week is our live event. We've been doing 2 live events a year, and Thursday is our meet and greet for our live event. We have 36 wonderful TSC members who are coming to paint live with me. We're super duper excited about that. The girls are just beside themselves. They've been packing the goodie bags all day today, and so they're really stoked to see some of the ladies. Hey, Stephen Gray. So I'm just gonna keep drizzling my resin over my glass. And if you have a question, you know, I'm just talky. If you have a question about the Shattered Circle, about the membership, anything you need to know to help you make the right decision for yourself, just let us know. We would love to answer any of your questions. All right. I'm just gonna keep drizzling over my I'll let him tell you, Becky. Hey is in the house. I don't know if he popped in or out though, so I will let him answer that. They're doing as well as could be expected, I guess, but I'll let him tell you. Yay, Lila! Yay! Do you love it already? Are you like, oh my gosh, there's so many things to do, so many projects? Yeah, when you join, you get instant access to so many. I think they're close to 200 projects. So yeah, you get instant access to so many wonderful projects. And then next month, in a week, I guess, week from today, you're gonna get access to that fish, which is turned out to be something that everybody was chomping at the bit about. So fun. So fun. Stacy. Yay, Stacy, look at you go. Don't be afraid to start, y'all. That is what I try to tell y'all too. As so many people are afraid to start, they're afraid that they're gonna mess it up. But you know what? We talked about this briefly last week. It's just paint. It's just paint. You know, if you're scared of the resin, that once you do one resin piece, you're gonna find that there's really nothing to be afraid of, right? But it's just paint. You can fix it. You can paint over it. Paint. All it takes to fix a bad paint job is more paint. And so many people think that they can't paint and that their art piece is icky or ugly or they did this wrong or that wrong. And it's almost always not true. It's like you are your own worst critic and everybody else is oohing and ahhing and saying, I'm gonna move this real quick, get some resin under there. Everybody else is oohing and ahhing and talking about how beautiful it is and you're like, oh, I hate it. No, it's good. Give yourself some grace. Did a great job. I'm gonna make sure I have resin underneath that boat. We don't want him sailing away without us. Let me scoot that up. All right, so now I'm just gonna take, Sue, let's see, who said that? Let me look. I don't want to get resin on my laptop. Somebody said, how can I tell when I put enough resin over the glass? That is something that it's gonna be a learning curve. I always tell, in my membership, I'll always tell how much resin it takes for every project we do because I do them first. And so I'll always let you know how much resin, but pretty much once you see that everything looks wet and glossy and you don't see any spots, oh, I moved my little bird, didn't I? Once you see that there aren't any spots that don't look super glossy and shiny, that's when you know. You want to cover it all. All right, I'm almost done. 2 ounces was perfect for this little cutie. Should have used something a little darker for my birds, but that's okay. They're there. They're out there flying in the sky. Be all right. So I'm gonna make sure I have all of that covered. I don't have any skippies. And that, look at that, exactly 2 ounces. I'm gonna just drizzle what's left over and get it to the edge. I like to take my fingers and just kind of go around the edge. I don't know why I do it. I feel like it kind of creates that little bit of edge so it doesn't like run over. And also, a lot of times this little curved edge is what ends up with no resin, all right? Because it kind of wants to go this way. So I like to just run my finger down that edge all the way around, and then I'm gonna look and make sure I don't see any spots that don't look wet and shiny. And I do see one right now. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of resin and I'm gonna just add a little dollop of resin to that little area that obviously didn't get any because it was mats. All right, so I'm gonna throw this away. I'm gonna take my gloves off. We're gonna hit this with our heat gun. Yes, if you didn't make enough, you can definitely mix more immediately and add to what's already there. for sure. And even if you don't even notice it till the next day, Sue, within 24 hours, even it's like 24 hours or sooner, if you see there's a spot, just add another layer of resin, okay? Once it's cured, which is about 72 hours, a lot of times you need to scuff the surface so the next coat of resin has something to attach to, because this is super glossy, all right? So if you notice it really quickly, you can just go ahead and put another coat. So I am gonna just use my heat gun and pop my bubbles. Just put it over the glass. I'm also gonna take another quick peek and make sure I didn't miss any spots. There's no like little areas that aren't super glossy. And now I'm gonna take just a little smidgy of these acrylic bubbles. Thank you. I'm just showing a little bit of like a beginner project to show that you don't have to like know how to shade, right? You can do a really piece of art just by using a little bit of paint and some glass. The very first art resin piece that I did was a seahorse, and I literally painted the canvas white. The canvas was white. I had a little bit of blue. I'm gonna grab that up in just a second. I had a little bit of blue kind of showing through here and there, but for the most part, it was just white, and I shaped out a seahorse, and that was my first piece. Let me grab my bead awl, and let's get that little bit down here. I don't want that in the water up at the top. So let me show you this up close and personal. So cute. Y'all know I love me some beach arts. Look, let me make sure I don't get resin on my hand. Let's see up close. Look, how stinking cute is that? Look at that water. And see, all it took was just a little bit of color on your canvas, and then let the glass do all the work. It's so pretty, isn't it? Just so shiny. And when this is dry, I'll do my edges. Normally, if I'm doing a piece of art that I'm gonna sell, or I'm doing it outside of just teaching on Art Chatter page, I'm gonna do my edges. I don't do it for like my lives, just for time's sake. So don't think that I'm gonna leave that unfinished. So cute though, isn't it? And just like that, just a little bowl that I broke, add a little extra glass, a teeny tiny bit of paint, match your fingernails to your art, and voila.